Well, it's my privilege this morning, our privilege, to welcome Doug and Tamara Schoch. They came last year. Well, Doug wasn't with her. He was having I think his retina was detached and having surgery that Sabbath. But they came and shared about Kibidula, the mission and the ministry over there, and they're back, and we're so thankful to have them back. So glad that all you could be here today to hear what they have to say about what's happening over in Africa, and maybe give us opportunities as a church or individually to help out over there, to benefit them in some way over in Africa. I just want to share a little bit about Doug and Tamara, if you're not familiar with the Schochs. Doug and Tamara Schoch have been serving as missionaries with Kibidula in Tanzania since 2011. Their ministry focuses on evangelism, Bible training, health education, agriculture, and gospel literature outreach. Through Bible schools, health programs, and press work, they help equip local believers to share the gospel and meet practical needs in their communities. Their passion is to see lives transformed through the love of Christ, both spiritually and physically. That sounds good, doesn't it? And I want to also remind you, as you're leaving the sanctuary today, right by the back door, there will be an opportunity, a plate there for a love offering for the Schochs. And Doug and Tamara, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Good morning. All right. Can I bend this down a little bit? Will that be okay? All right. A little bit better. You know, I appreciate the audiovisual team. You know, when everything goes right, everything goes right. And nobody even seems to appreciate them too much. But when the slightest thing goes wrong, everyone looks at them. And lots of challenges today, but none because of their own fault. I appreciate Dakota and his team very much. All right, so we're doing some hybridizing here. I'm using this and this, so we'll see how that goes. I need to say another word of prayer. Excuse me. Father in heaven, I just come before you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, asking for more of you, asking for your Holy Spirit, asking that you would change the words from my mouth to the ears of those who hear, if necessary, that they may receive the blessing you want to give them today. This is all about lifting up Jesus Christ. This is all about drawing hearts to you. May we be encouraged by seeing what you are doing. May we all be drawn into this mission work in whatever capacity you want us to be in. Thank you for the Sabbath. Thank you for this beautiful church and these beautiful people. Thank you for the work you are doing. Thank you for an opportunity to be part of it. And I ask that you'll help me to share it in a way that is pleasing to you. In Jesus' name, amen. It is such a privilege to be here again. Yes, last year, Doug had just had emergency eye surgery the Friday before, but he had to go back for a follow-up that Saturday morning, so he was unable to travel with me. But he told me, he said, you go ahead and come to this church. So it was a privilege to be here with you last year. This is not a sleeping church. I've been learning about what's going on here. There's a lot of activity going on here. There's a lot of outreach. Pastor, it must be a joy to your heart to see the evangelism cycle that's taking place, the total member involvement, getting involved with the community, the work you're doing at the fair. It's just really wonderful to see what the Kingsville Church is doing. We are all called to be missionaries, every one of us. And what a privilege it is to be able to be used of God to reach other people. The song that we just heard, "Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me." You know, there are people in this world who don't have that information. They are carrying around a burden that Jesus paid for and wants to take away from them. He wants to take all of our past, all of our hurts, all of our mistakes, and give us a new start in Christ. And as missionaries, whether here or in the foreign mission field, we have an opportunity to take that wonderful hope to people who don't have hope, just like the Christian Record Services, talking about how giving them a little bit of hope right at that time of crisis. Is this world in crisis? Wow. So much has happened in the last year. It is time. It is time for us to seek the Lord with all of our hearts. It is time for us to just surrender it all to Him and do whatever He calls us to do. And it'll bring us great joy. All right. There's a picture here showing where Tanzania is, and there's a little star there that helps you to see exactly where Kibidula is. Kibidula is a mission station of 4,776 acres with a lot going on. I want to share a few quotes with you. How can we help without hurting? You may give to the poor and injure them because you teach them to be dependent. Instead, teach them to support themselves. This will be true help. The needy must be placed in positions where they can help themselves. When right methods of cultivation are adopted, there will be far less poverty than now exists. We intend to give the people practical lessons upon the improvement of the land and thus induce them to cultivate their land now lying idle. If we accomplish this, we shall have done good missionary work. Here in the United States, we say, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So as we work with the people, help them to develop practical skills, we are helping them in the long haul. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. A couple more quotes. My favorite quote, Christ's method alone will give true success in reaching the people. The Savior mingled with men as one who desired their good. He showed his sympathy for them, ministered to their needs, and won their confidence. Then, what's that mean? What's that word then mean? After, next, thank you. Not first. Then he bade them follow me. We were listening to Harvey and Crystal this morning about some of the things that are going on in this church, and you're doing so much outreach. And I just want to encourage each one of you. Even if you're not seeing the results that maybe you're hoping to see yet, there's a process, and you've started that process, and you're doing amazing work. So just, God doesn't fail. You just keep doing your part, and in His perfect timing, the results that He knows are best will happen. So please, just keep doing what you're doing. You guys are doing amazing, amazing work. The home missionary work will be farther advanced in every way, when a more liberal, self-denying, self-sacrificing spirit is manifested for the prosperity of foreign missions. For the prosperity of the homework depends largely, under God, upon the reflex influence of the evangelical work done in countries afar off. It is in working actively to supply the necessities of the cause of God that we bring our souls in touch with the source of all power. We can do nothing, we can do very little good on our own. We can do some things, but if it's not God working in us and through us, it's not going to have the fruit that it should. And I was encouraged to share this quote with you because I want you to be successful. And many of you are already doing this. Many of you are supporting, not only doing missionary work here, but you are supporting mission work in other countries. And the more you give, when it's God calling you to give, the more you have to give. Have you noticed that? It's like tithing. You know, that 9/10 goes a lot further than 10/10. It's when you are faithful and giving back to the Lord. My husband and I can tell you so many stories about how God has been faithful in amazing ways as we always remember that all that we have and all that we are belongs to Him. So, Kibidula. Some of you know a little bit about Kibidula. Crystal's nephew has been at Kibidula for several years, and we have some friends here that have been associated with Kibidula for quite some time and been supportive. I'm going to share just a little bit of information because there's much more than I have time to share. And I have to remember that I'm doing two things here. What happens at Kibidula? Just very briefly, mission training and discipleship, education and youth development, health and community outreach, agriculture and practical industries, publishing and media. I think I have a video on the next slide, and I don't think we need the sound on this one. How do I make it play using this thing? So you may have remembered last time I was here, we were in the process of still fundraising for and wanting to build an expansion of our press building. The building that you see there right now at the bottom was our press building, and we needed a much larger building. So this is a quick compilation of various videos as we went through the process, and it is such an amazing miracle what God has done. We started this process totally by faith, and God just opened the doors, and we were able to build a 200-foot by 50-foot, not including the dock, building, and it is now equipped with a lot of additional press equipment to be able to reach so many people. When we first were looking at expanding the press work again, someone on our team had reached out to a donor about a specific press and said that this press would allow us to print 16 times faster than we currently printed. And the donor asked a really great question. He said, do you need to be printing 16 times faster? So the question was put to me, because before I was involved with the press work, it was interesting. We'll just leave it at that. And I said, I think so. I think we need to print faster. Well, we do. The press that you just saw on the left was that press that we were ordering. Right now, we cannot keep up with the demand for books and tracts and Bible studies. We just got this color press put online after we actually arrived here, so it just got put online last week or last month. And the printed word is going out. It's going out in Swahili, and we are also printing some materials that have Arabic, because right now our Muslim brothers and sisters are hungering and thirsting for the truth. It is amazing. No matter what we print, it's gone so fast. So those are Bible studies being printed right there. And we can't keep those in stock either. In the past, we would fundraise for Bible studies and tracts. You know the GLOW tracts. You may know of the Balanced Living tracts by the Michigan Conference. We've translated those into Swahili, and now it's, okay, all right. In the past, we had raised donations for major distributions. For $1, we can print 100 tracts. So for every penny, we can reach a person. And at one point in time, they said that a piece of literature would pass through 10 different people's hands before it was worn out and thrown away. So for a penny to reach 10 people, that's a really amazing investment. So we did a 1 million glow track project many years ago. The Lord blessed, and those went out, and we started seeing more and more people asking questions. Then we did a 5 million project, and we didn't do another project after that, but we are seeing the local churches now, seeing the vision, seeing how to use these, and so those tracts are being purchased now by individual church members in churches, and they're going out at a very wonderful speed. So we're very encouraged by that. I'm not sure if I've got the slide in this. I know it is on our website. We're in the process of updating our website, kibidula.org. And 3.5 million pieces of literature went out last year. And that was without projects. And that's also not including the entire container of great controversies that was done, because I forgot about that when I was putting together the numbers. So it's really exciting to see what God is doing through literature work. church planting and evangelism, and a lot of other projects serving the community. There's a lot of things going on at and through Kibidula. Now I want to share a story with you. It's a true story. And I'm not going to use her true name not going to use her real name. You're going to see pictures of young people from our agriculture school. Our agriculture school is for at-risk youth. And you'll understand that term a little bit more as I read this story. Kibidula's Agriculture School for At-Risk Youth is a place of refuge, healing, and new beginnings for young people whose lives have been shattered by hardship, rejection, and despair. Daily we see God's transforming power at work. This is a true story of a 17-year-old girl who we will call Esther to protect her identity. Her journey from darkness to hope illustrates exactly why this mission work matters so deeply. Esther was born out of wedlock. From the time she was old enough to understand, her peers mocked her relentlessly, called her very unkind names, and the taunts followed her to school, to the market, and even into her own home. The pain of being labeled and shamed became a constant shadow over her young life. Unable to bear the daily humiliation, her mother sent her to live with her grandmother in a distant village. There, Esther lived a free but directionless life. With no firm guidance, no moral foundation from her grandmother, her values began to crumble. She made choices she would later regret, driving her further from the path of hope. Desperate to escape the mockery, whenever she did return home, Esther began avoiding her family completely. At one time, she lived with the prostitutes, just to find a place where no one would judge her for her birth. In that environment, surrounded by brokenness and just barely being able to survive, she felt utterly hopeless. After finishing grade 7, she had no support or way to continue her education. She had no one to help her with school fees, no one to encourage her, and no vision of a future. For a time, she did work for a lady who promised to give her shelter and some food. She found very little joy in this arrangement, and it reduced her dignity even further. Her life was full of shame, isolation, and a growing belief that she would never amount to anything. Then she met one of the Bible workers from Kibidula. He listened to her story, and he offered her hope that God had not forgotten her. He referred her to our Kibidula Agriculture School for At-Risk Youth. This is the reason for our school: to offer hope to young people whose lives are seriously challenged, and that was in June of 2025. Today, Esther is a completely different young woman. The transformed life is a testimony to God's love. In our safe, Christ-centered environment, she has found the guidance, love, and structure she never received as a child. Our matrons have walked with her through the wounds of rejection and shame. Daily Bible studies and spiritual mentoring are helping her to rebuild her moral foundation on the solid rock of God's Word. She is now learning practical agriculture skills and sewing, skills she can use to support herself and one day be a blessing to others. A girl who once lived without hope now smiles. This is what God is doing at our agriculture school for at-risk youth. God is rescuing young people like Esther from cycles of poverty, abuse, and despair. We provide a loving home, quality vocational training, and deep spiritual encouragement. God is restoring dignity to those the world has labeled worthless. We equip them with skills and faith so they can break free from their past and build a bright future. We recently had an alumni weekend. It's the first time we had one of these. We have a new leader over the agriculture school. He's been there for a little over 2 years. And he decided it would be good to invite past students back and have them share what God has done in their lives since they left Kibidula, and it was so encouraging. They came back with all kinds of amazing stories. One young man had actually come, he was actually already an alcoholic in his teenage years when he came to Kibidula, and he got his life together. God helped him. And so then when he left, he actually took the skills that he had learned there, and he started his own farm. And he's now growing green peppers and taking them to a market on the motorcycle that he's been able to purchase with his own money that he earned. And there wasn't a Seventh-day Adventist church in that area, so he started working with the locals, and now they have people there, but no church. He is helping to build a church in his village. Going from hopelessness to having hope and ability to help and bless others, this is exactly what we love to see and hear. This one, the sound on this video, we're going to actually watch a video from one of our other previous students who is still working at Kibidula. The sound may get a little loud on this one, so just sorry about that. We'll see how it comes. They've been warned and they know. They're going to do their best to help us out with this, okay? All right, we're going to start this video. I think I hit this button. That wasn't it. Try that button.
My name is Priska Juma Kibiki. I come from a very ordinary family, and I was raised by my grandmother and grandfather. I did not have the opportunity to experience the love of a mother and father because my mother died when I was born. My father also died in 2016, but I had never lived with him. So for all my early life, I lived with my grandmother. She raised me and also paid for my education through 7th grade. After that, I had no way to continue my education. In 2013, after I finished 7th grade, my grandmother found 2 schools for me and told me to choose between them. By the grace of God, I chose Kibidula. When I came to Kibidula, I did an entrance interview. Before the interview, I was told the program would be in agriculture. My grandmother knew that I did not like farming, so she told me, "Don't think you will have to farm very much. It is just a little gardening." She encouraged me that way, and I agreed. I came to Kibidula, passed the interview, and began my studies. But school was not easy for me because agriculture was a major part of the program. Farming was a great challenge for me. Growing up with my grandmother, I had gone to the farm, and it had been very difficult. I hated farming. I was never first in agriculture. In every plot we were given, I was always the last one, but I kept struggling and trying. Finally, I decided in my mind that when I went home, I would never return to school. When I arrived home, I told my grandmother, "I am not going back to school." But my grandmother refused. She told me, "You must return to school because everything that has a beginning must also have an end." I had no choice. My grandmother told me, "If you do not return to school, you cannot stay here either." So I had to go back because I had no other choice. I returned to school, and by the grace of God, I finished, even though it was painful. I did not know English, but I had to persevere. When I finished, I was not a Seventh-day Adventist. After graduating by the grace of God, I found work with some Zambians at Kibidula, and I continued with them. They did not know Swahili. They spoke English, and I did not know English. So I had to work very hard to understand them. When they left, I began working in the printing press. I was with Grandpa Bill, and Grandpa Bill helped me until I learned to speak English well. But what I especially thank God for is that Kibidula made me a different person. I did not like farming, but today I have 1 acre of land where I have planted avocados, and they are growing well. Kibidula took me from one place in life and directed me toward another. I also thank God for the people who were close to me, Tamara, Grandpa Bill, and all the others who helped me reach where I am today. I thank God so much. Today, I speak English well. I have my own farm, and I manage it well because of what I learned through Kibidula. I thank all the donors who have supported Kibidula in a special way. May God continue to bless you and guide you. Please be encouraged by the help you gave. You have helped people like me, people who came from the bottom and were unable to rise up.
Tuliotoka chini na kwenda juu.
From orphan to student, from searching to being baptized in 2019. Today, she serves Christ, farms her own land, and is blessing others through what God has given her. Priska is such a huge blessing. She works at the press, and she is, if it wasn't for the fact that she was at the press when I took over the press, not sure what year that was, I don't know. I'm sure the Lord would have had means, but she was my right-hand girl. She rose up to the occasion of us totally transforming that department, and she's just such a huge blessing to God's work. Not only is she a blessing, I mean, it's amazing what she shared there, and she's an amazing worker at the press department, but when I took over the press, I ended up giving her an increase in wage more than once. But I noticed her lifestyle didn't change. So finally I asked her one day, I'm like, Priska, what do you do with your money? She sort of sheepishly, she explained to me that she had cousins who were in a very bad shape, that their mother was an alcoholic and she wasn't taking care of them, that they were hunting rats just to survive. So she was taking everything above what her absolute necessity and sending it to help others in greater need. So I love her story. I love what God has done through her, that she is a missionary there within her own family, and she's helping the greater cause too. So she was another one who was blessed by the agriculture school at Kibidula. This is an interesting picture. Why can you only see two people's faces? Would anyone like to guess why? It is obviously to protect identities. This is in Zanzibar. Kibidula has, at the beginning of last month, it was 32, but I think we're closer to 40 right now, Bible workers working in Tanzania and beyond. I need to be careful with my words. One of our Bible workers, who's got their face blacked out here somewhere, has been working in Zanzibar, 99% Muslim area. And he has faithfully, I believe he is also a convert from Islam. It is amazing. Right now at our evangelism school, every session we have fresh new converts, Muslim converts to Seventh-day Adventism. They come to our school, they learn to deepen their walk with God. The first month they learn medical missionary work, they learn health evangelism, how to have good health and how to help other people. My husband's a massage therapist. He teaches them massage, we teach them hydrotherapy, we teach them nutrition, all these wonderful aspects of health. Then they also learn sign language, they learn Arabic, they learn a lot of different vocational skills. They learn how to be beekeepers and carpenters and all kinds of things, cooks. And they also learn the Bible more deeply and how to share their faith. And they also learn to sing amazingly. The goal of Kevin is not the person on the left, but the one that's sort of towards the middle to the right. He is our director of our evangelism school and Bible workers. His goal is that once someone leaves our evangelism school, you can put them anywhere in the world and they can start a business, they can be self-supporting, and they will be reaching out to others, that they will be disciples and make disciples. So we are just very, very pleased. So one of our students was very promising. We decided to hire him as a Bible worker, if I'm getting my story straight. And we started hearing reports that there's this growing group of people in Zanzibar meeting in secret. And so instead of just taking their word for it, Kevin went. He met up with the conference official, that's the other person you see, and they went and they were able to worship with this group secretly, this group that is growing, Muslims. So we're just so thankful. But there's a lot of things happening that you're not going to get to hear about. I'm not going to get to hear about because so many things have to be done secretly. But people are coming to Christ. We are reaching into the 1040 window. We have opportunities to reach into other countries right now, opportunities that weren't there a few weeks ago. It's really exciting to see what God is doing. Got two things here. We recently did receive an entire container of great controversies. About 30,000 of them, if I have my numbers correct, were Swahili, and there was a few that were English. We had some English Bibles, and then we had, I was looking at the invoice just the other day, the packing list, it said a pallet of miscellaneous books. On that palette of miscellaneous books was several Spirit of Prophecy books in Arabic. I mentioned that this morning in Sabbath school. And this is one of our Bible workers with a helper in a Muslim area, and the people want the great controversy, and they don't even want to wait until they can open the box and hand them out. They're going out so fast, they can't even keep up with the demand. It is really amazing how right now people are hungering and thirsting for literature, for the truth. And we are hearing many stories from many different places around Tanzania how the Muslims are seeking the truth. I hit the wrong button. Okay, we're good. Sorry. In this picture, you see a schoolroom of children, not at Kibidula, but one of our Bible workers. Our Bible workers are in high demand in the villages they go to. Once they're there and they're mingling with the people, helping the people ask them, can you come and teach us? Can you come into our school and teach a Bible lesson every week? Yeah, we can do that. So many of our Bible workers are being invited into public schools to teach on a weekly basis. And this particular day, he brought copies of glow tracts that we were able to sponsor and give to him to give out. And every student is very excited about this literature that they've received. They will read it and they will share it with others. Doug and I have had a lot of fun giving out tracts over the years, especially at schools. They're just, most of these kids don't even have a textbook, okay? So for them to get something that's theirs to read, they are so excited. We stood out front a little distance away from a school, I don't remember which, I think it was in Jombe, and we found a path where also we just see a line of students going. And so we're like, this is a good place to hand out some tracts. Doug got on one side, I got on the other. We had big bundles of tracts, and we would welcome them over and hand them the tracts as they go. And then several of them would run back and say, the teachers at the school, they didn't get any. They want us to bring more. Can I have 10 more? This happened like several times. Or another one would come and say, I've got some friends. They went a different route. They're going to want this too. So it's so much fun to give out literature there. We right now are recruiting. We need construction managers. You saw that press building being constructed. We had a bit of a challenge. There was no construction manager for quite a while. Then we had someone who came short term, but he was only there a few weeks. He did a great job while he was there, and we appreciated that. Then we finally got a construction manager, but he was there for less than 2 years. And we have a lot of growth taking place at Kibidula and a lot of construction opportunities. And we have good workers, but we need people who can manage those people and understand construction. I don't know if that's one of you or someone you know, but I am putting that information into your ears. We are also looking for a mechanic, garage manager. If God has given you a gift to fix things, we have a lot of vehicles, large equipment, and different things that constantly need maintenance. The construction manager was also our garage manager. We're also looking for health coaches and wellness program managers, and also research and development volunteers. And we also have opportunities for short-term mission trips and visitors as well. Could God be calling you or someone you know? We've all been given skills. The question is, God calling you to use your skills where you can make an eternal difference? And I think I know that answer. Could God be inviting you to become one of those laborers? My husband and I have been praying for laborers in the harvest field for a very long time. I mentioned our greatest current needs as far as what we're recruiting: construction manager, fleet and equipment manager. health coach, short-term volunteers, remote work. Some people, you are here, God's called you to be here. Be where God calls you to be, okay? Do not come to Africa if God has called you to Kingsville, okay? You have to go where God calls you to go, when he calls you to go. Because no matter where you are, there's going to be challenges, but if you know you're right in the center of God's will, you can face those challenges. So volunteer, remote work, there's a lot of things that can be done, you still being here in the comforts of the United States and helping us with some things. So there's opportunities for that. Full-time, long-term commitments, families, individuals, there's a lot of opportunity. And it's not just our ministry. There's a lot of ministries right now crying out for help. All kinds of skills are needed. Our family went to Kibidula June of 2011, expecting to serve for 6 weeks. 15 years later, we can't imagine serving anywhere else. God has transformed our lives as we have watched him transform the lives of others. There is also a lot of opportunity right now to grow the mission work. You may remember we talked about avocados last time. The avocado industry that we have at Kibidula is growing. It's doing well. We started growing avocados for the purpose of supporting the mission work. And this year, they're able to support 50% of our basic budget for our 3 schools and all of those main activities, including Bible workers. Next year, we're hoping it'll cover almost 100%, and then even more the following year. So why am I saying that we have a need for donations? Because that covers the budget, and we don't want to just do the budget. We want to expand the work. There is so much opportunity right now. We want more Bible workers. We want to be reaching out into those areas which are open right now, including additional countries, which I will not name right now. But there's 2 additional countries that were just brought to my attention in the last couple of weeks. We have an opportunity to reach into those countries. But that's going to require God to open the hearts of others to support financially. Every classroom built, every student trained, every book printed, every church planted, every life change begins with people who chose to partner in God's work. And it makes an eternal difference. So, as I mentioned, there's a lot of openings in Tanzania. There's an opportunity into other countries. And we want to train more workers. Right now, we are packed like sardines in our evangelism school. We have so many people coming to our evangelism school every 6 months, and we're turning people away. So right now, we are fundraising to add additional dormitory space. Instead of having a space for 60, we want to have a room for at least 100. So that is one of our major projects that we are fundraising for right now. Because remember Kevin in that picture with all the blacked out faces? Kevin's like, this is no time to slow down. He said, Jesus is coming soon. We have an opportunity right now. We need to train up as many people as want to be trained so they can go out. So this gospel, the kingdom, can go into all the world so Jesus can come. So I want to let you know that that is a project that we are looking to see how God will lead. God is opening remarkable opportunities right now, and your partnership can turn them into reality. So is God calling you to help us walk through that next door? In the lobby, before I go there, I didn't get back to it. Our avocado project was originally started to support the mission, but it has become a mission of its own. This last year, we helped 170 local farmers have an export market for their avocados. Remember we were talking about train the people to cultivate their land? It's not just in our agriculture school. Our primary school, our agriculture school, and our evangelism school, we are training them in agriculture. But we are helping the local farmers develop their land. This is one of the publications that we're helping them with. This is a guide on how to raise avocados. People see that avocados are a great thing, but if they don't have a little bit of information, they can spend a lot of money and make a lot of mistakes. And for years, it's going to be a challenge. So we've created this. I don't know if you're interested in looking through this, you're welcome to. It's very interesting. It's set up very illustrated to help them to understand exactly how to start their own avocados, how they need to track them, how they need to track them, and how we can help them. So it's just one of the things that we do to help the local people to farm their own land. And it's changing the entire community. It's changing the landscape. People are now able to send their kids to better schools. They're able to buy food and buy clothes, and instead of just barely getting by, having their own avocado farms is such a blessing. There's one lady that has like just a handful of trees. Is it 25? I thought it was less. It's just very few trees, but she takes amazing care of them, and she gets a better yield on those trees than almost anyone. And she is able to help her children, her grandchildren, and it's just a wonderful situation. There's some materials in the lobby. If God is calling you to get more information or to support, there is a contact card of ours, another contact card for Kibidula. Excuse me. There's an envelope if you would like to make donations. In the past, we had some donations coming through churches. We're getting away from that. We now have a charitable organization established in the United States where checks can now be written directly to Kibidula and sent directly to Tennessee, and then those monies can be put into action much more quickly. There are also 3 different cards out there. You're welcome to take one for yourself. If you know of someone that you think might be interested, please feel free. Excuse me. Got a tickle in my throat. This is the last Sabbath we're here. We're leaving Tuesday to go back to Africa. I do not need any of that material. So if you feel called to share that information with other people, feel free. If you run out there, ask us. We have more in the car. And then, last but not least, I need water. Excuse me. I will wash my hands before anybody shakes them. We have this photo book that we created for our supporters. We have some extra. So we have some out in the lobby. I think it's nice. It's going to show the different schools and a few different things that have happened this year. Thank you so much. And each one of you, you're welcome to take one of these as well. And again, if you want more, please just let us know. It is such a privilege to be here. It's such a privilege to be part of this church, which is all about reaching people with the gospel. It's all about taking this gospel of the kingdom into all the world, because Jesus is coming soon. Let's be part of that. And I'm just so thankful for the work that you are doing here. But if God is calling you to be part of our work too, we invite you wholeheartedly. I think it is time for our closing song.